Welcome to Those Fantasy Dudes podcast with your hosts, Jonathan, Tyler, and Shane.
Yeah,
Yeah, caught me by
go.
surprise.
That's really good.
What did you say?
Got
Caught me
Jake
by
asleep
surprise.
with the wheel. The intro is just like,
Shooting a text message off, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Jake's always so prepared for this show, especially when we're live.
I think it adds a certain flavor to this. The people want me in here. I want you to know that.
I do kind of like the dynamic that like you're here, but it feels like you don't want to be here. I feel like that does add some fun, you know.
Some good vibe.
yeah, like it's a chore.
Yeah.
You like hate doing this.
You're like, ugh, here we are
Yeah.
again. But when it comes to like beating your friends at fantasy football and talking about specifically fantasy, like there's nothing you want to do more.
Because we
life,
don't
you know?
talk about fantasy football anymore. All you do is
No, we do. It takes about 45 minutes to get going, and then the
down.
show's over. So
yeah, come
I'm
on.
gonna talk about stats. When I started the
What?
show, I thought I'm gonna build a model, and we're gonna talk about fantasy football stats and how to win.
we
talk about models
We were
all
gonna
the
do
time.
like a UDK at one point, and that never happened, and it probably never will.
No, we have to bring somebody in to do it.
Yeah. Well,
No one will
anyways,
buy
welcome
that.
back to the show, everybody. The Those Fantasy Dudes podcast. So happy to bring you yet another episode of the show. Week 1 in the books. Crazy. Week 1 of the NFL gone from existence. 2024.
See ya.
Absolutely gone. A lot of stuff happened. Some pretty big injuries that we'll get to in a little bit. A big storyline with Tyreek Hill that we'll definitely touch on.
Or
And
did
yeah.
he commit another crime?
It really depends on the person you ask and what body cam footage you look at and what opinion you are forming based on your beliefs. But I look forward to discussing it with you three.
That was a very comprehensive answer. Thank you,
That was
Commissioner
a good
John.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just making a joke because he's a piece of shit.
Well, I don't know all the details.
we give you the hard-hitting, unbiased
from-
facts.
The video,
Look.
it, in my opinion, completely unbiased. I was like, that escalated a little quicker than I think it should have.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys saw it. But
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm
We'll
sure
get
no one's in the right.
yeah, I mean, that's a thing. It's like you see it from two sides, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Tyreek Hill, not my favorite person, but I do like him for fantasy football.
Yeah,
So
he
I
is a
was
real
happy
piece
when
of
he did
shit.
make it to the football game and start catching footballs. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram. That's going to be at Those Fantasy Dudes. Follow us on X at Fantasy Dudes Pod. Tyler, I do think it would be helpful for you to be on X when the moment calls for it, when you have the availability, because it's a good
Mhm.
place to promote our live shows.
Are you telling me how to do my fucking job right now?
I'm
Live on
telling
air?
you to
You did
do.
say that.
Are you telling me that
anything.
I'm not a contributor, John? What the hell? No, we had
Mr.
a
News
great
over
round.
there.
We had a great round of start-sit questions. First week of the year, Sunday. We usually do it like an hour or two before 1:00 kickoff. Fire
When
those
the fuck
start-sit
did that
questions.
happen? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
you-
really? Put 'em in the group chat. I answered them.
Yeah, I was putting them in the group chat for all those fantasy dudes to answer.
Am I
So
smoking
we had a
crack,
pretty.
dude? I don't think that's true.
You might
could
be.
be.
We had a pretty good response this Sunday,
Just
so
saying.
keep an eye out. If you guys have any questions outside of start and sit questions,
Oh my
could
God, you
also
actually
send
did. You
those
guys
my way.
aren't
So,
talking. You're actually not
um,
lying.
yeah,
No,
no, we had some
what are we
really good
standing-
ones on there.
I ate my words. Thank you. Really, really good job.
Yeah, and
yeah.
we may have given some bad advice, but it's fantasy football and things are bound to happen. So
You
don't
said
one's
David
ever-
gamble
Montgomery
based
or
on the
Christian
things that I
Kirk.
say.
Wait,
Don't look. Don't go back.
we've never.
Some of
gone
those
out on
have
a limb
aged
and
very
called-
poorly.
We've never gone out on a limb and called ourselves experts. We say we're enthusiasts that just like to talk shit about each other's teams and just kind of poke fun at each other.
Well, we try
We're
our
never-
best, right? People who are new to fantasy will often reach out for start sit questions, and there's some tough ones in there. So
Dude, if we're
is what it
right
is.
51% of the time, I call that a win.
yeah, not bad.
You know what I mean? And hopefully that turns into a championship
look.
at some point.
They better, if they're new to fantasy, they better strap in because no one knows the answer.
It's true.
Really
It's
don't.
all
The only
fake.
answer
Nobody
is
knows what
get-
we're talking about.
The only answer is get better players.
I don't think anybody expected Amon-Ra St. Brown and Marvin Harrison to combine for 3 points this week. I mean, I wouldn't have told you
No.
that, starting
No.
just Josh Palmer and leaving an empty roster spot on your starting lineup would have been better. It's like, It's hard to predict those type of things.
Rashid Shaheed outscoring them by like a factor of 3.
A healthy margin. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, Kyle Juszczyk outscoring them with one play is also insane. Like, you know,
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew that one.
the,
Knew that
the
was
juice
coming.
is loose.
Dialed it
You
up.
know what I mean? Yeah.
The juice is loose.
The juice is loose. But yeah, if you want to give us money, click the link in our Instagram bio. If you are watching on YouTube and would prefer or also like to check us out and maybe finish the show safely in your car and listen to us without being distracted on the road, you can do so on the various podcast platforms. That's going to be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, CastBox, Reason, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Bullhorn, Castro, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Podbean, Podcast Guru, Podcast Republic, Podverse, and Spotify for podcasters is our host platform. God damn.
That was all right. I was getting ready to fire off We're So Back, but it doesn't feel back.
Oh, it was like
Not
95.
quite. Almost there.
It's only
week
week
one.
one. Give me
Week
16
one.
more weeks,
You
and
and Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Rusty.
Also, to be fair, since we've started the show, since I've been on the show at least, there's been like probably 7 platforms added in there to that list.
Yeah, that
So
has gotten longer.
it's pretty
Yeah,
long.
We're
It's
doing
like
work,
a
we're doing
paragraph.
work behind the scenes over here. Trust me. We
No,
certainly are.
John's doing work behind the scenes.
I'm doing everything.
Yeah,
and you
don't
guys
get
just
him-
show up, and
Don't get
sometimes
him
you're
twisted.
late to the show because you're.
And I
eating
send
lunch.
out one tweet on Sundays. That's what I do.
Hey man, that's better than nothing, and more than I thought you did. So I'll take it.
I provide commentary against John.
Yeah, and you're
all I
about to
do.
do so for this
No.
upcoming segment.
Oh no.
Brittany Mahomes update. Brittany Mahomes update.
Well, welcome back to another rendition of the Brittany Mahomes update. Looks like Kevin's in the chat. Start, bench, trade. Patrick, Brittany, or Jackson? I'm going to be completely honest. I put that in here not realizing it was a Brittany Mahomes related question.
That's
Just-
fantastic. Keep
I
it up.
thought
Kevin.
you-
Keep up the
look.
good work.
All right, let's give it a real run.
Okay, yeah, actually, this actually
Obviously, start Patrick. That's
gotta
the
start
only-
Well,
Patrick.
but like, is this for fantasy football? Is the question?
I
or is this
think-
just in life. Well, maybe it would still be Patrick would be the right answer.
If this is
I
getting
think-
in jail, start Jackson.
Yep.
Start Jackson.
What if
we
this
get-
is like Mother of the Year?
Can we get Pat Mahomes Sr.?
Cool guy. Yeah, underrated.
That's
Mahomes.
a sleeper pick for getting in jail. Actually, that's the 101. But
Yep.
Start, bench, trade. If this was fuck, marry, kill, that would be a different story.
why did you have to make it weird?
It actually might be more difficult because I want to kill all of them.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for the
That's not what you
question.
meant.
You
We
ruined
didn't
it.
answer the
Hey,
question.
No,
Realistically,
you
start,
answered,
bench,
you
trade.
answered
ruining
other people's question.
Start, bench, trade.
You
See,
answered the
week
private
2.
investigator's question from Brittany.
Well, what did you expect? This is the Brittany Mahomes update.
Yeah, you're gonna kill her one day.
This segment is purely for comedic purposes, and I do not stand by any of the claims I just made. We hope to see you back every week for updates on Brittany Mahomes and possibly some fantasy football insights along the way. Thank you for your time. Just as a reminder, this is
Get that out of the way.
Banner at the bottom,
Yep.
We
too.
don't mean anything we're saying. So realistically, yeah, I'm going to start Patrick. I'm going to bench. No, I don't know if anybody. I don't know what the trade value is on Jackson Mahomes. It might
There's
be a good
none. You
sell
gotta
low.
bench
right
Trade
now.
Jackson
value.
Mahomes.
Trade value's way up on Brittany. You don't want to
Look.
trade low on Jackson. He's
Yeah,
got
you
some
gotta-
potential.
Popular.
You got to ride out Jackson's contract. Maybe he turns it around. Probably not. But you know what? You're not getting anything back for him, and that would mean you had to hang on to Brittany, who might be at an all-time high. I mean, she's going to do something to Taylor Swift at some point, and
And it's
she's
going to
getting
look bad.
canceled.
Dude, who
I
knew that?
mean, do you think they're still pals after the whole Donald Trump support stuff?
No, 0%.
Well, you know, they were
Have you
still
seen
pals
Brittany and
after the
Mahbub?
whole Kim Kardashian collab too, and here she is. So,
What is there a
knows?
problem? I don't get it.
well, they
What was
weren't
your-
friends because of some collab with that skins company. Remember we talked about this when
No, I don't
Connor's
remember
girlfriend was
that.
on the show, and she was able to break it down
Oh,
for us.
yeah. Sam,
can't-
great reporter. We should bring her on for a Brittany Mahomes segment. This
I would let her run the whole segment, and we just listen. That'd be fun.
I'll ask.
Yeah.
Kevin coming back with another one here. Brittany Mahomes for Mark Andrews. Wait, Brittany Mahomes for Mark Andrews. Who
Says
says
no.
no?
It's a good
I
trade.
think if you throw her hospital balls out there, that she could probably have done a better game.
Yeah, you might be right on that one.
Yeah, man. I mean, Brittany Mahomes might have a better week for fantasy because at least Patrick Mahomes would want to throw to her. She's a former athlete, as you know. You know what I mean? Former
Current
college
athlete, John. being a
Current
mother as
athlete.
being an athlete. All right.
She is running around that house all the time. If you know
Run
what I
around
mean.
chasing those kids, All right, let's get over.
Does he have a real actual?
Um,
Not even in it yet.
Also,
I
who
think
knew
we
I just had
riff and
to
have
put it
fun.
in fantasy football terms and Jake would actually like give us input. I'm gonna try that going forward.
There you go.
Anyways.
It might work. I'm gonna run a
Um,
stat sheet on.
Another week brings us another edition of the Brittany Mahomes update. Without the ongoing enthusiasm for this segment, we might not continue it weekly. But given the unwavering support for Brittany, we're committed to keeping this beloved
Instigator. You're
feature
a goddamn
alive.
instigator.
As
You're
many of you
fucking
know,
yawn.
Brittany is expecting.
I'm
Brittany's
just genuinely
expecting-
tired.
Are
I
you?
do hate
Well,
this.
It's
Yeah.
been a long day, but here we are. This is how we
Yeah.
wake you up, Jake. This is how we wake you the fuck up.
Wake up.
As many of you know, Brittany's expecting her third child, a new addition that we can only hope will continue the impressive legacy of this inspirational family. Brittany keeps us updated daily through her Instagram stories, although she's been less active on her main feed lately, probably due to the demands of motherhood. Let's go ahead and bring up her Instagram story.
Oh, thank God. I've been dying to see this.
Yeah, let's do it. Here we go. Jeez.
Editor, can we get that up, please?
And there she is. Yeah,
Thank you.
so you know, she's been pretty busy, hanging out. Oh,
No longer
thank God.
available. Oh,
it was her like her kids pushing some sort of cart around the house. Stupid. Here she is. Yeah, she's back in the gym showing a baby bump. Posting some links for some brands.
Oh, I'm giving it everything, not saying something about that squat rep.
But mainly, what I wanted to show you guys is that Brittany. Oh, sorry, that's Adam Schefter. It's not important. Brittany is posting some links for this website Viore, where you can get code Brittany and save 20% off. A lot of affordable options here. You can get it even for men. You got a half zip sweater
it's not bad.
for $128.
That's a good deal.
This one I like. You can see this guy's like really, really ecstatic about this black full zip
Yeah.
for $138.
How can you not be? He's like over the moon happy with that. That's a man who just lost his last $138 to a hoodie he could have bought on Amazon for $15.
I mean, yeah, all this stuff is just like it really stands out to me as like quality and like
This
something
is
you've
like-
never seen before at Target, even maybe. Perhaps.
This is like a
So,
brand new sweatshop I've never seen before. Like this is
it's probably
incredible.
made in a sweatshop. But yeah, just inspirational stuff. But that's so essentially, you can emulate Brittany's style provided you're willing to spend quite a bit on minimalist athleisure wear. So
Chump change, John. Chump change.
worth it if you ask me. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the Brittany Mahomes update. Not up to a whole lot. She's just pregnant and trying to get that thing into the third trimester. So I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that's like far into it or
Like, she's
middle of
She's gotta be like, okay, we gotta keep this thing moving.
let's get this ball rolling, if you know what I mean. Get this thing out by Chris.
It's
I-
not a project at work. It's a kid.
You better fast track this thing. But
This
anyway,
segment is purely
Gotta be
for
done by
purposes,
quarter
and I do not
three,
stand
at
by any of
least.
the claims I have just made. We hope to see you back every week for updates on Brittany Mahomes and possibly some fantasy football insights along the way. Thank you for your time.
That would be my favorite drop, even if it didn't signal the end of the segment.
It's
Oh.
perfect. It's everything.
what about is this one a little bit better?
Yeah.
Take it away,
quite good.
Tyler. What have we got?
Quite
this week,
good.
my friend?
Yeah, so top of the news, we talked about it at the top of the show. Tyreek Hill was detained shortly before the
Aw.
week 1 game against the Jags in Miami on Sunday. We're just now getting body cam footage being released from Miami-Dade Police Department that clearly showed how quickly the situation escalated. And it did result in Tyreek being ripped out of his car, his McLaren, and thrown on the ground. Teammates, I believe Jonnu Smith and one of their teammates stopped when they saw the altercation happening, and the officers basically just told them to stay back, not get involved, which is what you would do as a police
Right.
officer, right? So, but
I mean, we can form our own opinion here if we want, but I mean, I just want to say, like, the quality of body cam footage these days is pretty telling. I mean,
cameras
this
have
is what
come a long way.
happened,
Yeah.
He's like, get the fuck over. I mean, he was going pretty fast. I drove down this road on Sunday, and he was going a lot faster than the other cars. So I think
Yeah.
reasonable, reasons to pull Tyreek Hill over. Although sometimes
Yeah,
it feels like
speeding.
they target cars like
just-
these.
I don't understand why you're driving that kind of car if you've got the kind of money Tyreek Hill has.
A
I'm
McLaren?
rolling-
What do you think? What's better?
No, I'm rolling around with somebody driving me. Unless I want to, I'm
yeah.
not driving to work.
Well,
do
I
you
mean, a
wanna
lot
do
of these
that?
players like to roll in, and they're like, you'll see that Johnny rolls up in a Rolls Royce in a few seconds here, but
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I would be taking a helicopter in and landing. Like, I don't know, something like.
right away he gives him the he's already holding the license in his hand, gives it to him right away. But he's complaining essentially that the officer was knocking on his window. He's like, "Don't do that. Don't knock on my $200,000 car window." Which
He rolls his window
reasonable
back
request.
up that
Does
you
it
can't see
again.
through.
Yeah.
limo black.
Like you're
That's
not doing
not- that's
yourself
not limo,
again.
just-
You're not doing yourself any favors by doing this sort of stuff to a police officer. I'm not saying that that police violence is justified. I am just saying he is not helping himself in the situation at all. If you
Yeah.
are in the presence of a law enforcement officer, just listen to what they tell you to do. That's pretty 101.
But look how quickly though. This is
It does
2
escalate
minutes
awfully
in.
quickly.
2 minutes they're already ripping him out of the car. That seems
Because
pretty
he's
fast
not
to me.
obeying their orders. They're like, "Hey,
This is the
roll
first
your
time I've
window
seen
down and we're going to rip you out."
Yeah, I mean that kind of shit. Like I've definitely seen videos where I'm like, oh no, the cops are completely in the wrong. But yeah, you can't roll your window back up. Like that's a security risk for them.
They
Yeah,
can't
of course.
see.
They
There are
can't see.
enough videos like this the opposite way where somebody has a gun and then they start
course.
shooting at the police, right? So you have to keep
But
yourself safe.
Of course, and I think, I don't
then-
maybe these guys aren't football fans. Maybe they don't know it's him.
It
But
doesn't
they are
matter.
posting
It
I
doesn't
think
matter who it
Canadians
is.
are where they-
across the street. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's hard for me to form an opinion here. There's the
It's not
Rolls Royce,
great.
like, right there.
I think it does get worse as time goes on. As they have him kind of here and cooperating and stuff, they kind of
This is
make
the
a whole deal of it.
defensive
Calais Campbell.
lineman, Calais Campbell, yeah.
Yeah, they throw Calais Campbell in handcuffs, don't they?
I think they do, yeah. And then Johnny Smith and some other guys are in this car. I think Johnny's in the back seat.
Johnny Smith, isn't he playing for Atlanta?
No, he's a tight end on the Dolphins. I thought he might get some work this week, but he didn't even touch the ball. So
Calais Campbell.
I don't know if that's
Wait,
him.
Calais Campbell's not still playing football. Is he? He's retired, I thought.
I don't know. I
Back
really
on the
don't know.
Jags?
I thought Campbell was on the Dolphins. No,
Is he on the Dolphins?
I do not remember.
He
I like that the
started
car
his career on the
door's open, by the
Jags.
way. Look at the interior on that thing. God damn.
Yeah, suicide doors and the rolls, dude. It's
Oh,
a
he's on the
Cullinan.
Dolphins now. I'll be damned. 38 years old.
So no, just a really unfortunate situation all the way around. I mean, you got to be smarter as an NFL player. I think, don't put yourself in the situation to begin with, but also as police officers, you do have to uphold a certain level of consistency in your policing and just making sure that you're not needlessly hitting or abusing people. So I think all around, like we said at the top of the show, nothing good. Nobody did anything good here. Let's just
Of
agree.
Of
on
course.
that. Just
Yeah,
unfortunate all the way around.
Yeah, I'd recommend, because this video does have audio. So I mean, form your own opinion if you want. But
Sure.
we're just we're showing you what we see, and
Boy,
getting that
football's
notification.
back.
Yeah, I mean, getting that notification, 15 minutes before. I mean, it was probably like 45 minutes before kickoff. It was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, like what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that was.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, and it's going to be a little fucked up. I kind of hoped you'd miss the game for Jalen Waddle's sake.
Well,
Yeah,
Ben Waddle had that
that's
weird
crazy.
injury tag. Like, he did go into the blue tent for concussion protocol, and then he
He had a
continued to
fine
have
enough game, though.
an injury tag throughout the rest of the game, even though he was playing. So maybe that was Sleeper's fault. But also Tyreek Hill
Yeah.
ended up getting 28 fantasy points despite all that shit. So I think he did okay.
Yeah.
What else we got, Tyler?
Speaking of the Dolphins, both running backs, and it's been a year, so I can't remember if it's Achane, I believe is
I
the
think so.
correct pronunciation, with an ankle, and Mostert with a chest injury were both DNPs, did not practice on Monday or Tuesday. This could be just the team being overly cautious, veteran rest, et cetera, et cetera. But definitely something to monitor going forward, especially Mostert. They have Jalen Wright in the mix, who's a rookie this year.
Yeah.
I think I have him maybe in one league. I think I have him in the keeper league. Not really slated to hit any action this year unless one of these guys is to miss time, then maybe we could see that happen. So just to keep an eye on that. So another big name here, Hollywood Brown, with a shoulder injury, is nearing a return to the field, according to head coach Andy Reid. He sat out week 1. He was not an IR candidate, so he should be back. I would assume this week coming up if they want to be super cautious, which the Chiefs are doing okay. They're playing pretty good football right now. I could see them pushing it out another week to week 3 and having him return that.
I mean, they seem to be doing okay right now with the emergence of. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. This is literally the fastest man ever at the NFL Combine was Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good.
He looked all right. I'm pretty excited with that pickup.
Yeah, where do you have him? You have him in league record?
I'm in the league record, and he touched the football twice, and both times were touchdowns.
His
So,
first 2 touches,
I do.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes when those guys come in the league, they come in hot, and they might start saying, "Okay, we got to watch out for Worthy." So
Is this
certainly not sustainable. That would be great. I mean, if that's sustainable,
you can't sustain every time you touch the football as a touchdown.
Well,
but
yeah, but I even mean like that.
I think
that
it's-
amount of fantasy points a game. That feels.
I don't know if that's necessarily. What did he finish with? Like 20
He
something?
had 3 targets, 2 receptions, 1 touchdown, and he also
He had a
ran in a
rushing
touchdown.
touchdown.
He was a rushing
Yeah.
touchdown.
Yeah, what do you have? 28.
20.8 points.
Yeah, you can't have a sustainable. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Kelsey can do it, but they got other mouths to feed on that defense or that offense that are gonna like
That
Hollywood Brown's
offense
quarterback.
was not that. I mean, through the air was not very efficient.
Last year. No,
I mean, Mahomes.
Oh no, I mean
didn't
on Sunday.
really do
that
There was
much,
not. It
did
was
he?
all the run game. The Chiefs were, not really firing on all cylinders through the air. It was more of a Pacheco show. So
Mahomes only had 15 points. He was 20 for 28, 291
28
yards.
attempts for Patrick Mahomes is criminally low.
yeah.
The average passing yardage for QBs this week was just north of 200.
Yeah,
So
it's not great.
it was because I was watching. It's just a crazy stat. Fantasy footballers, they were like, hey, 200 passing yards was average, and half the touchdowns from week 1 last year, half the passing touchdowns. So it went from 60 to 30. So I think honestly, I think teams are just a little bit rusty. I think there were some big weeks from people like Jalen Reed, Xavier Worthy, that are going to make people rush to the waiver wire, and maybe some smaller, like 8 to 10 man leagues. If these guys are still out there, I think Worthy could be out there. Probably
He
not
could be
Jalen Reed, but
worthy of some fab.
he could be. But it's also like, okay, like things are going to even out, and like Jake said, I don't know if this is a weekly thing. I mean, 2 touchdowns on 3 touches is pretty
that's
rare that
absurd,
that's going to happen.
but,
So
I think just he is still being showcased by Andy Reid and put in those situations to begin with, kind of speaks to the fact of his talent and his speed and what they're looking to do this year on offense. So
yeah,
I think
He
at the
looks
same time it could be a really positive indicator. Although, yeah, you're not expecting 20 points every week, but maybe he develops a pretty solid target share moving forward.
I mean, is he the receiver since Tyreek Hill that could, be a reliable guy going forward?
He's
on
the
Kansas City?
archetype.
I mean,
He's the archetype. He's speedy. He's small. He's undersized for a receiver.
yeah.
5'11", 165 is not a big guy. So I think that they could kind of potentially put him in that role a little bit. I mean, you can't replace Tyreek Hill as a player, just straight up. But the way that they play football is, they need a
lot smaller
fast,
than
gadgety
Tyreek.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he could be very, very, very good, and I'd be happy to have him in Dynasty if I happen to pick him up in the rookie draft.
Yeah. For sure. We'll keep rolling through the injuries here.
Yeah.
Bears rookie wide receiver Rome Odunze is sustained an MCL sprain during Sunday's 24-17 win against the Titans and will be considered week to week. This is pretty upsetting for a lot of people, I would imagine, especially in Dynasty. This is somebody who you would expect to make an immediate impact in Chicago.
Really?
I thought so.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I didn't feel that way. They brought in Keenan Allen. They have DJ Moore. Did you guys think that the rookie quarterback was going to be able to sustain 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers?
Well, I mean,
I think
Keenan Allen is this bad argument, but Keenan Allen old, right? DJ Moore, okay, maybe not a true wide receiver one. They took this guy in the first round.
Sure, but they took this guy in the first round so he could develop. I mean, I don't know. I guess you guys
look at his
did,
projections. 11, 12 points.
Snappers. I mean, he's in there every play. I mean,
yeah. I get the idea, but Keenan Allen, they brought him in specifically like to be the guy this year, and then DJ Moore had 1,300 yards last year.
I don't disagree with
way worse offense.
I think there's every possibility that I mean, yes, Keenan Allen had the biggest target share of any player in the NFL this week. However, I do think, I mean, there's at least a 50% possibility that the intention was for him to be like a mentor, and that Rome Odunze would take over this year and be a viable asset on the offense.
I think that's a terrible take if you thought Rome Odunze was going to take over Keenan Allen year one.
I didn't say he was going to be wide receiver one of the Bears. It's just you drafted this guy in redraft and hope to play him week to week most of the time based on his ADP. He was going like 7th round.
Yeah, I mean, God bless you. I mean, I get the
Worthy wasn't going that far away from him either. I mean, Worthy was around, but again,
Worthy's a way better pick than
there's huge, but why? Who was to say that? I mean,
the upside's huge
based on what?
Just way less competition in Kansas City. There's not a true wide receiver one. They brought whereas Chicago had 2 guys who have both done it, and I mean, done it with worse QB play than they're getting there.
I'd argue to say it's a more saturated, offense to really have someone break out and be consistently good for fantasy in Kansas City. You have, Pacheco, you have Kelsey. I mean, Noah Gray gets fucking 4 or 5 targets a game. Like they're all over the place. Whereas in Chicago, I feel like it would be more simple offense for a rookie QB where they're like, throw it to your guys. I mean, throw it to DJ Moore, throw it to Keenan Allen, throw it to the rookie that you trust. I don't know. I mean, I think I don't think they'll be that far apart at the end of the year.
I'll water bet any of that right now. Rome Odunze is not the guy.
I'm not saying he's the guy.
Allen, no, but I'm saying like it will not be close. Barring Keenan Allen getting a serious injury, which is possible, and I think is the true track for him to get work. Like it's going to be like you're going to have Keenan and DJ Moore. He'll have some games because he's a talented wide receiver, and there'll be 3 wide receiver sets where he'll be out there, but he's wide receiver 3 every day.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure. I would not have counted on starting him. If Rome Odunze is hurting you, you got other problems with how you're drafting wide receivers.
I mean, I had to start him this week because I lost Higgins right before the fucking game started.
That was brutal. Austin had Higgins on the bench and or wasn't able to start Jaden Reed. Like he had Higgins slotted in there. He had Higgins slotted in there. Jaden Reed played Friday. Any other week, we would have known.
Yeah,
this was a weird week for kind of last minute players being like surprisingly ruled out. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is the biggest example of that. I mean, that was
we can actually get into that right now.
Give us the headline on that.
So Kyle Shanahan clarified that Christian McCaffrey's calf injury did not involve a setback, but was simply just too bothersome for him to play effectively on Sunday. He practiced all week. The calf issue was intermittent and proved too troublesome for the game. During the post-game interview, Jordan Mason mentioned that he was actually informed on Friday night that he would be starting. But Kyle Shanahan corrected this, stating that Jordan Mason was only told he would likely see significant playing time and didn't confirm the starting role until the day of the game. Shanahan addressed the situation to prevent any potential league repercussions. I think this also sucks, and as we're talking about a little bit, Jordan Mason was asked, like literally off his
biggest high
monstrous
of his life.
Game,
Probably,
had an incredible game, post-game interview, Jordan, like, tell us when you knew you were going to be getting the starting role. Like, this is so exciting. And he's like, oh, I knew, like, coach told me Friday I was going to be starting, yada, yada, not knowing that
The
you have to
repercussions of that
disclose
statement.
the injuries and the repercussions of that statement. And
Yeah.
the actual, like, post-game presser, somebody asked him the same thing, and he was not having it. He's like, next question.
Yeah, I mean his job is to be an NFL running back, not necessarily preserve the best interest of the football team. I mean, yes, but
You need
he's
PR
new
training,
to
but yeah, it sucks.
yeah, he's new to the spotlight, so that's not something that I think was at the top of mind after such a crazy performance. But um, yeah, I mean, for me, to me, it seems like a clear and obvious strategic play by the 49ers. I mean, you really
Right.
have to prepare for Christian McCaffrey, and when you do that, I think Debo is also seemingly less of a backfield threat, and they ended up using him a lot in addition to like the hard-nosed running game from Jordan Mason. So
Yeah.
smart if that was what he did, and if not, then I mean, Jordan Mason, great job. He looked
Yeah.
amazing. But
Undrafted
also,
free agent.
yeah,
Jordan Mason.
you put anybody behind that 49ers offensive line with that offensive scheme, and I think that it's been proven time and time again that they are very, very good for fantasy.
I think you're slightly correct, but also we have to give Kyle Shanahan credit for his, I guess I'll call it cherry picking of running backs and who he decides he's going to use. I don't think
Sure.
you can quite put anybody in there. All through camp,
Sermon.
people were talking up Jordan Mason, and he's a really hard worker and a super talented running back. So I don't think we can quite discredit that.
I
So-
do want to kind of pat myself on the back for a trade I made last night in our film school league, where I was able to acquire Jordan Mason an hour before the game after the news of Christian McCaffrey not playing came out, because I ate the onion. I came in last place, which meant I drafted Christian McCaffrey. And I would have lost if not for trading away Ty Chandler and 2000 Fab to get
There you
Jordan
go.
Mason. So
20 fab or 40 fab for anybody else curious.
40 Fab for anybody that's not in a ridiculous league like this.
Yeah, what the fuck?
$10,000
You're in like
relative
$1,000.
numerical increments that it's weird.
Sure, I
Um,
guess.
But yeah, Jordan Mason, 22 points, 28 carries, 147 yards and a touchdown. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, that's
You don't just do that on
no.
accident. And some of those runs were not aided by the offensive line. He was a monster. He had a
Yeah.
great game. So another humongous injury. Rams head coach Sean McVay said Puka Nacua is going to be placed on IR due to his knee injury, and he's going to be out at least 4 games.
Yeah, it's brutal, man.
That is super yikes. It's Cooper Kupp City. Jake's pointing. If you've drafted
so
Cooper Kupp,
gassed.
now is your time.
Oh, dude.
However, this is how it all goes wrong sometimes for Cooper Kupp as well, though, because
Nope.
he was
When?
no.
I don't know about that. I mean-
Cooper Kupp 15 plus targets, ROS, rest of the season 15 plus targets.
I don't know. It's one of those things, man. When you know and everybody in the stadium knows where the ball is going, how do you think
It doesn't
defenses
matter,
are going to
Tyler.
prepare
It
differently?
It does
It
not
has-
matter
I
with
think it
Cooper Kupp.
does. I
It
really think
never
it
has.
does.
Fucking
it never
Calvin
will.
Johnson. Matthew Stafford made Kenny Galladay look good enough for the Giants to give him a fat contract, and everybody knew the ball was going to him. Kenny Galladay. I mean, granted, you want to say it was a fluke of Calvin Johnson, sure, but they've done it for full seasons with Cooper Kupp. Not worried about that 1 ounce.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate that I have to agree, because the only reason I lost to Jake this week in League of Record was because Cooper Kupp put
Kupp.
up fucking 35 points. I mean,
Cooper
for the
duper
love of
Cooper.
God, I was projected to win 90%, and then Cooper Kupp comes in and puts up one of the best games of his fucking life. So I hate that I have to disagree with you, but I mean, Cooper Kupp is able to get open on any play, and Matthew Stafford will throw it in his vicinity when given the chance, which is a lot.
Sure.
So, it sucks,
Sure.
but yeah, I mean, if you have Cooper
Stuff,
Kupp, congrats.
I need him to make a believer out of me a little bit through a week
How-
or two. I'm not saying Cooper Kupp is not elite and
How
cannot
about
do it.
year 2021 when he was the
Best player in fantasy
wide
football
receiver
history.
1 with 191 targets and 145 receptions for 1,900 yards.
People were sleeping on him, dude. Nobody's sleeping on Cooper Kupp anymore. I know
You
he's a
are,
great.
from the sounds of this.
No, I'm just saying everybody knows who Cooper Kupp is, and they're gonna know how to prepare for Cooper Kupp.
Well, I
So
feel pretty good seeing as he got 21 targets last night.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you wholly. I'm just saying cautiously optimistic moving forward on Cooper Kupp.
I don't want to
Next couple games
get too
here.
excited.
Arizona, which I think underrated a little bit offensively. At least. I don't
Offensively, defensively, not at all. Their defense is not fantastic.
San Francisco, they were able to kind of make it tough for Aaron Rodgers to sneak in some passes to Garrett Wilson.
I'm looking at the schedule for Cooper Kupp. He's gonna fucking eat. I take it back. Chicago,
Okay.
Green Bay, Vegas, Minnesota. Yeah, he's gonna go nuclear. Yeah, what is that schedule? Seattle, Miami struggle a little bit. New England maybe struggle a little bit. Philly, Buffalo. Okay, so it gets harder down the stretch.
But I think Puka probably comes back at least by their. Do you think Puka sits out past their bye week? They have a week 6 bye week.
Depends on what the record is.
Yeah,
I think it depends on how many
good this
games
year,
the Rams win. I don't think it's gonna be that sneaky. I think the Rams have a great football team still. But I hear you.
Yeah.
We'll keep it rolling here. We got a couple other injuries to hit. Darius Slayton is in concussion protocol. Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson is considered week to week with a sprained MCL. And David Njoku is considered week to week with a high ankle sprain. David Njoku was one of my picks for, I would consider him fringe top 5, to be honest with you. But a healthy top 10 candidate at the tight end position. So that's I tried to draft him more places, but I didn't. So
maybe a good call. I don't know. It might have been against the Cowboys D, which is very good. Those Browns look fucking horrendous, man.
They look terrible.
Watson
they look awful. Yeah, like worse than last year.
He's so bad. I mean, Jesus, they should get DTR in there. Actually, is he even still on the Browns? I think he is. DTR.
Yeah, I don't think he is. They should put James Winston.
I don't know. Anybody. I mean, Deshaun Watson should be. I mean, I think I'd rather have like Colin Kaepernick at this point behind center. I mean, Jesus, he looks just horrible.
He looks bad, but the amount that they've invested in Deshaun Watson, you got to at least keep rolling it out for a while.
Have you guys seen the picture that shows everything that the Texans got with those picks?
Yeah,
it's pretty. I know it's insane. Yeah,
it's heinous.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of guys on that roster that even straight up you wouldn't trade for Deshaun Watson right now.
I mean, some of them include Dameon Pierce, Tank Dell. I mean, they were able to get CJ Stroud with one of those picks. Like it doesn't. It might be the biggest highway robbery of all time. Like
it's I mean, it's. I was talking to Mac about this because in my mind, the Browns have been this team that like you kind of want to see do well, like from 20, and he was, saying once Baker came in, that's when people really started feeling that way. Because I guess Johnny Manziel was kind of a not likable character. And then before, it's just been a series of those characters. So really, it was just Baker was around. And for the last couple of years, I've been like, oh, I'd like to see him do well. And then they turn around and trade for fucking Deshaun Watson.
Do you remember what was the beginning of the end for Baker and like leaving?
No.
It was like that video that Odell Beckham Jr.'s like dad posted or something, where it showed all the times where Odell Beckham was clearly open and Baker just didn't see him.
Oh my God, you're right. I remember that. Yeah, that was brutal.
And then it just started this like downhill spiral of just like disgruntled Odell Beckham. Everyone was like, "Oh wow, Baker fucking sucks," and then it spiraled from there. And God, look where we are now. And
Odell Beckham Jr. Good God.
Baker looks really good in Tampa Bay. I mean, geez,
I love Baker Mayfield. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield
likable.
fan.
Yeah, well,
big fan.
I like that video of him dancing. All right.
What else we got, Tyler? Anything else
notable here? That's the news, fellas.
Okay.
At least what we've got here. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm sure,
there's more out there. There's always more out there for news, but we try to cover the hits, greatest hits.
One question for you guys. Is there anybody, and I feel like we kind of abstain from doing this conversation on the show because we want to keep it a secret. But anybody on the waivers, let's say in a redraft league that you will potentially be spending a percentage of your fab on this week. Anybody that kind of
Yep.
stands out to you?
Yep, Justice Hill.
Justice Hill from Jake.
Justice Hill's
Yeah,
higher snap
that's a good-
percentage than Henry, and he got 8 targets. Granted, yeah, they're fighting to win, but still 8 targets is 8 targets. That's nothing to turn your nose up at. He gets in for a touchdown this past week, and he's like the number 1 waiver ad.
He seems like a Jerick McKinnon to me, like
Sure,
mainly
Jared McKinnon had some
because
playable games.
Lamar's offensive line is bad. And he's gonna have to dump a
they're
lot of,
just young. It's a really young offensive line.
which translates
it's
to
tough.
they're not gonna
No,
keep.
they're not good. I'm just saying, like it's not that they're like don't have trash guys in there. They just got some young guys, and it is a problem.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
got 2 for you. I think Greg Dortch is up there on my list. I know that sounds crazy. That's in probably deeper. That's like in 12-man leagues. I see him developing a role as Kyler Murray's potentially favorite target so far. He's got 8 targets against Buffalo, pretty high snap percentage. This is somebody who no one saw doing anything to start the season. So worth maybe a couple bucks. Another one that I feel kind of justified now, stashing him so long in Dynasty, but also could be potentially a waiver ad is Alan Lazard. Had a great week 1, drew 9 targets, 2 touchdowns. I mean, touchdowns are not sticky, right? But again, developing, could be Aaron Rodgers' second favorite target on that offense. In an offense where they might be having to bail themselves out of a lot of games where they find themselves behind. So
Yeah, I have 2 for you as well. I think one that could be sneaky and a guy that has shown that he can do it before, especially as a deep threat, is Demarcus Robinson. At least for the next couple weeks here. If you are in a deep league or if you are at a desperate situation for a flex, like you lost Addison, T. Higgins doesn't play next week, you need somebody. I think he's going to be out there the whole game and he's going to get targeted. Like Cooper Kupp can't get every single ball. He can get most of them, but Demarcus Robinson sneaks in for a touchdown, you're going to be okay. And the other guy I think is a little bit, based on maybe if somebody gets an injury. But he finally got 12 attempts in a game where, I was kind of surprised that he got this many attempts, was Tank Bigsby.
That's an interesting one to me too.
Finally working him in, and he had 6 yards of carry. I mean, he looked, I was there. He was a beast. Like he
was very efficient. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with trying to pick him up for cheap right now. And kind of wait and see, especially if you have ETN. But if you don't have ETN, I don't know that I would really consider picking him up. That's almost like picking up Alexander Mattison at this point, right? It's kind of like, at best, it's a timeshare situation.
What I would say here is, like, say you're one of those teams that picked up Jonathan Brooks or TJ Hawkinson, and then you have somebody else that you were stashing on your bench. If you find Tank Bigsby a better value and a better potential versus one of those players that you're just keeping that's droppable, I think it's worth picking him up, because if ETN misses time, Tank could be an absolute nuclear option.
He could go crazy.
Do you think that he's able to take the full workload, or do you think that it requires Travis Etienne to make that work?
I don't think so. I think he'd be plenty good. I really do.
I think he could be a 3-down back. I don't think he could handle the receiving work, though.
No, I don't. I think it's purely like, normal running back work. But I mean, he's the efficiency against Miami. I mean, they have a pretty solid defense. It's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah. Also worth noting, if you are a Mark Andrews owner, how much fab are you spending on Isaiah Likely this week?
Or if you lost Njoku or Jake Ferguson, if you lost one of those tight ends, I'd say 25% at least.
I would say at least 25, maybe 50%. That might be seem like an overreaction, but we don't know how this 2 tight end set looks yet. And Mark Andrews has been doing a lot of blocking. So if that offensive line continues to struggle this year, I would not expect Mark Andrews to be catching a lot of passes.
Andrews was hella locked up by the Chiefs. In the past, that's what they always do is they take him out of the fold.
Yep.
But Isaiah Likely, a lot of the catches he got were like almost screen passes. There was that one big one that ended up in a touchdown. But yeah, I think, I think he's going to be one of the targets on that offense for sure.
Yeah, he's working his way in.
I am going for a cheaper option and grabbing Colby Parkinson.
That's a good
fair
one as
enough.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabby says all the fab on Isaiah Likely, she says. On the
All of it.
I believe coming from a Mark Andrews owner. Yeah.
Oh, man. Kind of want to drop
So-
200 for the bit just to take it away from her.
That'd be
Yeah.
crazy. Or trade to get one fab from somebody and then drop 201 so she can't get him.
I told her if she wants him that bad to trade for more fab, so mathematically she could not get Likely.
I like that. I truly like that option. I think
I've done it before. I did it to Jake.
as have
Yeah,
I.
and then we had a
As
fucking
have I.
arms race, and then
Who was that even for? Like Pierre
Oh,
Strong
it was
or
for
some
Deion
Brown-
Jackson.
yeah, I was saying it was for no
Oh
one.
my God.
And
no
then I
one.
ended up winning the
worked.
week off of it. Yeah.
Yep.
It worked.
Yeah. Sometimes
That's we
Hey.
had that happen twice. So that was
Oh, you're
we were
right.
thinking of
The
it another
arms
time.
race. I know. Yeah, the arms race was for James Robinson. Does that sound right on waivers last
I
year?
think it
It was
was
something
yeah.
stupid. It was not worth it. Whatever it
Oh,
was.
for sure, stupid. I mean, of course.
anybody. One more question. Anybody that I feel like you picked in the last couple rounds of the draft that you're like, this guy's going to be good. That you're like, you can drop him.
That's a great.
You're like
That's a great one because I've had so many of those this week. I look at my team.
anybody
I'm
that
like,
you're
what
like, I don't like somebody like, yeah, he's going to be good, and you don't care to keep him on your roster anymore. Just drop him. Anybody?
No, I gotta tell you, like, I don't mean to suck my own dick.
You
but,
do this all the time. No, man. I'm happy with everybody.
Nah,
Except
not a
for- I
single
mean,
player.
Chuba, I was pretty sad with, but the rest of that offense was so trash. How could I expect anything else?
I'm trying to look at my own experience if there's anybody too. I mean, there definitely has to be, but
For me, it's Trey Benson. And
okay.
probably Trey Benson I took in the 10th round to shore
Joey
up
says Dowdle. Rico Dowdle. Drop
Rico
him.
Dowdle.
I don't
that's
know
a
about that.
tough
I don't know if I
one.
would
His
just yet. I don't know if
ADP
I
was
would
so
just yet.
high. And Mike Williams. Mike Williams experiment, 14th round. I don't think he didn't record a target. He had 18% of snaps.
I'm surprised they even had him out there. I really did. When I saw him in pads, I was like, "You sure?
Yeah.
You sure you want to do that?" Yeah. He looked like he was uncomfortable on the field physically.
Yeah.
So it looked like he had the Lamar poopies. He just wanted to go to the bathroom.
No,
Like,
wow,
that's really what it felt like. So I'll agree with you, Mike Williams. I think I'd rather have Lazard. I mean, Jesus.
I'd rather have anybody because I think they'll play
Yeah.
more. It sucks.
I'm a little
but it's
worried
true.
about Zamir White. Didn't really have any work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
38%
it's a tough one. I'm glad I
snap
couldn't get him anywhere.
percentage.
Like, I'm glad he's one of those players that I was definitely interested in targeting, but never came to me, and I kind of feel okay about that now.
91%
Alexander-
rostered.
Madison got 60% of the snap percentage to
Got all
Zamir
the-
White's 38%.
He got all the passing work.
Yeah, he did, and a touchdown. I don't know. Alexander Madison, more of a resume, I suppose, as well, and doesn't have a history of 2 ACL tears in college. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
For what it's worth, I've been trying to dump Zamir White in Dynasty all off season because I got him for basically free. I traded him 1-for-1 for Ronald Jones, who I picked up off waivers. So I was trying to get literally anything for Zamir White, but
Absolutely insane.
yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I mean, it's week 1. Anything can happen still. Anything
course.
can happen.
Of course. Anyway, okay, why don't we get into the matchups? Let's go over our matchups from last week and see what's coming.
Talking matchups.
Although that's not week 1.
Talking to
Actually did have to cough. Yeah, week 1 in the books. If you watched last week's podcast, you will know that Jake and I played each other in both big leagues, Dynasty and the League of Record. Tyler had some matchups as well.
Tyler also played games.
Tyler's here.
He's part of the podcast,
Here I am.
Tyler, why don't we get your matchups out of the way, seeing that they are a little bit inconsequential to the overall show?
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So we
Which league?
we
I'll let
talking
you
how
choose the
this
league.
last week ended up as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll start in Dynasty. I got to give credit where credit's due. I said I liked his team. I'll give some more context to this, but I played Troy, and I did. I said I really liked his team. Any of these guys could go pretty decent. And yeah, he beat me by a point. And
Brutal.
feeling
Why does this
feeling
always
bad
happen
about
to
it.
you?
This
This
always
always
happens
happens
to
to
me.
you.
It's always by that amount specifically.
I gotta tell you,
Um,
we were all together on Sunday.
You guys
Troy
were
was
gassed
fired
up.
up. He was
Yeah.
fired up.
Beat
was
the
like,
champ
"Shock
out of
happy.
the nation, baby.
I'm happy for Troy because he put in the chat. He's like, "We're gonna shock the nation. You're going down." I still had afternoon games. I think I still had like Pittman, Metcalf, and like Mike Evans to play or something. And I was projected like 80% to win. I was like, "Oh yeah, close game, bro." And then I put, "Just kidding." And then after that, all that happened was me losing. Like nothing. I saw Rashid Shaheed catch a touchdown. I saw Isaiah Pacheco, or that was a season opener. So I
McConkey?
saw Nico Collins, Lad McConkey, for Christ's sake, had more points than Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf put together, and he had
That's
14.
crazy.
I had
Yep.
3 players go over 20 points. He didn't have a single player exceed 17 points.
Moneyball.
But that just goes to show, yeah, he's got that Moneyball team, man. If you can be consistent and find guys that are going to be there every week for you, you can take down juggernauts like me. So it's
Yeah.
Suck your own farts.
You might
you
go
guys
4
suck
and
them
8.
for me. I don't have to do it because this is a great team objectively in Dynasty. It really is.
Yeah.
So, Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf let me down. So did CeeDee Lamb to a degree. I lost by a Justin Tucker missed field goal. I lost by ETN fumbling out of the end zone. That's how close these games can be. So that was a tough one. Tough loss, but only up from here. Congrats, Troy. That was a good win for sure. That's an exciting team. I love CJ Stroud. I love Pacheco, Cook. That's a great team.
I will say, man, with this league, this was a crazy week because Frank won. Frank won. I mean, Logan beat Sterling by 1 point. You lost. Jake did lose.
Connor beat Dane by 2 points. We've had
90 to
super
88.
close games.
Talk about
That's
a toilet bowl. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like with this league, it's like you, me, Jake, we always want to beat each other, but we really want to beat these teams.
Yeah.
Because if we lose these games, then it's really the difference between those top seeds come to the end of the year. At least that was the case last year, where there were
No, it's true.
half the team was trying to tank, or half the league was trying to tank. So who knows? This could come back to hurt you. I don't know. Maybe, probably will.
This could be my worst nightmare. This could be the difference between me making playoffs and missing playoffs. I don't know yet.
No, I think it's the difference between.
I don't know, man. Anything can happen.
A first round bye. I mean, if you
Very,
ask me,
no,
but-
it's very possible that is the difference. For Tyler.
It could happen. We have emerging teams. It's any given week, man. So we'll see.
That's true.
But speaking of, I'm playing Jakelers next week.
Oh boy.
Yep.
And that's going to be possibly championship preview. You never know.
I mean, very, very well. I mean, it's us or
it could be. You never know.
It's us or them. It's us or them, right?
You better
That's
pray
what
to
it
God
is.
that Christian McCaffrey plays next week. That's all I'm saying.
He's not going to.
I saw
I'm going to tell
Jordan
you
Mason.
right now, he's not going to.
And
So
Evan
Jordan
Ingram
Mason
picks it up
fine.
too because he's had 1 target. I
Fine,
think.
completely fine with that. He was out for
targets.
he was out for 80% of snaps and had a 19% target share. Just an unlucky first week. I'm not worried about Evan Ingram at all.
Yep.
Not worried about it.
Oh,
Well,
don't
let's
worry
talk about
it.
this matchup then for next week. Let's walk us through it here, boys. What do we
Yeah,
got?
we got Lamar Jackson versus. You can rattle your team off if you want, Jake. I can just go by position here, but it's Lamar Jackson versus Tua, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mason, ETN against Jonathan Taylor, then at wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb against Justin Jefferson. That would be an insane
Crazy.
watch. Mike Evans against Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews against Evan Ingram, and then right now in our flexes, I've got Pittman, you've got Barkley, I have DK Metcalf, you have Jalen Waddle, and then Justin Tucker, Daniel Carlson.
Hey man, 2 guys that were in a trade together, Carlson and Tucker.
Yeah,
Let's not forget.
Fucking stupid. Don't
Never
talk
forget.
about that.
I'll never
Uh,
forget, baby. Come on, look at the history between these two guys.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Christian McCaffrey plays. But still, I mean, Jordan Mason looked phenomenal, so I don't have a problem with that. Really, I need just Tua and Waddle to ball out to make this one work. Like if Tua and Waddle ball out and everybody else does their normal thing, I'm good.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
don't know
you.
if they
And
will.
Buffalo's got a soft defense, man. I'm kind of worried about that.
And with Allen being there, it's going to be a shootout. I hope.
And I'll tell you who looked insanely good. That I mean, I should give more credit to you and other people for believing in him. Is Saquon Barkley? I never thought he
RB1
was a
right now.
bad running back, but he
Yeah.
went
No, he's-
absolutely insane against Green Bay.
He is generationally good. Like he is. He doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's been in shit ass New York for his entire career. And
Yeah,
basically been the offense, but you know, I truly think he has a strong possibility of being the RB1 this year.
Najee Harris, notoriously inefficient running back, was quite efficient against the Atlanta Falcons last week with his pretty strong workload. But that just goes to show what Saquon Barkley should be capable of Monday night against the Falcons.
Yeah,
yeah.
you can
And
be
I think
thanks, Austin.
he's really replaced that like tush push, like
I don't think
scramble
so.
for 4 or 5
I
yards
don't
type
think that's
offense.
No,
true yet. They were using him in different
John.
schemes that did not replace the tush push, although the tush push was very ineffective last week.
Do you see
due
how
to the
defensive
lost-
John got?
They
They
lost
tried it
Jason
like
Kelce.
5 times and it worked 2 times. It
Jason
failed when it
Kelce.
should have worked.
They lost
know.
Jason Kelce. If you don't have that dynamic, it's just not. I mean, it's not the same. Especially
I'm
when you
saying
have
in-
Saquon Barkley.
Dude,
Why
man,
would you put Hurts in that position when you have Saquon Barkley?
There's no incentive
man
to. And
can-
so when
can-
you're in short yardage positions like that, you're going to use Saquon Barkley instead. That's just what's going to happen.
I don't think so. I think they still because it's such the play works. They just need to get their shit together with the center. Clearly, they
I'm
didn't
telling
practice
you-
good enough. I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. They're still going to do it. It's not going to stop them from doing it.
The
A
personnel
completely
depth, man.
unbiased Jalen Hurts manager.
It's a way that they have proven time and time again will keep drives going. Like they can guarantee
They've proven over one season.
almost every
Yeah,
time
how many
that
fourth
they
and
will
ones do
get
you think are
either
gonna
the 4th
happen?
and 1 or 4th and 2 or just cross the goal line. You can't guarantee that with Saquon Barkley every time.
You
Now,
almost
I'll tell
can.
you one thing. Even
I don't think
statistically,
so.
John, even statistically, you're talking about a play that they're only going to do in short yardage on 4th down. That's not going to happen as much with Saquon Barkley around.
Okay, I mean, I don't think so because they literally did it like 5 times in
Come
week
up,
1.
I mean, come up with
Statistically,
any
that's a
water
lot
bet you
more
want.
than
But
any
Saquon
other team
Barkley's
will do
taken
a
away.
4th and 1 fucking QB sneak. Almost
So
300% more than
But it's
any other
only
team would
worth
do
it's
that.
only worth it on the goal line for you.
That's
It
not
doesn't-
true. That's not true.
Your
They did it in the
0.1
middle of the
points?
field many times.
I'm saying
So
it's
you
only
care-
worth it
yeah,
for
for
you.
fantasy, for Jalen
That's what I'm
Hurts.
saying.
Well, I mean, I'm saying if they do it in the middle of the field, it keeps the drive going and increases the chances of getting into the red zone and scoring touchdowns.
That's
That's true.
No.
That's true. No, that's a
It's not
fairly
wrong,
decent
but that
point.
increases that's for anybody. We're talking about
But I'm saying
Saquon
the
Barkley
Eagles
is
have a
going to
better
take away
chance.
opportunities for the tush push. He's
No,
going to take
if
them
it's
away
4th
because there's
and 1,
not going to be as many 4th and 1s to begin with.
Let me ask you this, John.
And they're going to go to him when they might have otherwise not.
Who's
if it's
going to
2nd and
have
3rd down, sure.
who's going to have more rushing touchdowns this year? Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley?
Saquon Barkley, without question, not even remotely a question.
I don't know. I think I think with running backs it's tough because
I wanna see
there's-
John's
Put down the fucking crack pipe. Are you kidding me?
how many
Saquon
times
Barkley or Jalen
listen to me.
Hurts?
How
Fucking
many
no.
times Jake is there a you know a play at the goal line for 1 yard? A lot, right? A lot for any NFL team. All
On
the time.
4th down,
They'll do it on 1st, 2nd, and
Yeah,
3rd
if
down.
it's short yardage, I'll give John that point. They will tush push on
That is
first
what
down.
they
because
do
they
with
have
the
yard.
Saquon Barkley. I promise you, they're not going to go, hey, let's stuff our quarterback into a pile on
Yes, they
2nd
will.
down when we have arguably, I would say Saquon Barkley is the 2nd best running back, only behind Christian McCaffrey, and it's an argument.
Jake,
That's
just watch
stupid.
the fucking games. I'm telling you, the
I-
Eagles are different. That is what they do.
The Eagles are different this year. You're basing your opinions on last year's Eagles without Saquon
Why would they
Barkley, who
change
just
what
blew-
works? That
Jason
play
Kelce is
works.
gone.
They lost Jason
they-
Kelsey.
and they
And
have
yet
an
they wanna-
Still
extremely
tried it
talented
5
running back.
times. They're going
John,
to clean
they-
up the snap connection where he doesn't fumble the ball and continue to do it.
I'm telling you, no, that rate's going down. I will bet.
Okay, I'll do
whatever
a water
you
bet.
want on
Jalen Hurts
that.
gets more rushing touchdowns than Saquon Barkley.
I love this.
Absolutely lock
This
that
is-
in. That's a
this is what I
stupid
wanted.
fucking bet.
That's what I wanted by
God
asking that
damn,
question.
that's stupid.
Fantasy
You
dudes.
better
telling you-
hope Hurts. You better hope
No
Jalen Hurts has
chance.
the game of his or has the season of his life, and that fucking Saquon gets hurt.
I'll tell you what,
Better
Saquon's already
pray.
up what? He's already up 2. So
Okay, that's fine. Jalen Hurts had like fucking 17 last year. 17. I mean, seriously, Jake. I mean, honestly, dude. I think Saquon Barkley could get 10. Yeah, he could probably get 10 rushing touch. You're saying rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's already got 2.
that's fine. He had a great week 1. Teams are
Yeah,
going to figure
so-
that out.
Anyways, our matchup here. Yeah, this
That was
Jake
such a
team-
tangent. I
was
forgot what
writing
we were
it
even
down, but
talking
that was
about.
the dumbest shit. I
love it.
so-
Jake's
You've
team is
always been
great.
anti Jalen Hurts,
This'll
but
be
you've always
good.
been wrong. So here we are.
I'm not anti Jalen Hurts. I just like getting you wound up about
Yeah,
Jalen
I'm not
Hurts.
anti Jalen Hurts
Yes,
either. I just think
You are, Jake. You're
I think
biased
I've tried
Saquon
to trade
Barkley owner,
Jalen
and you're
Hurts.
calling me an idiot for being a biased Jalen Hurts owner. Here we go.
John, ridiculous.
That is the
Yeah.
absolute and utter truth. Okay, we're both biased, and you are wrong.
They brought in Saquon Barkley so they can make their fucking stud quarterback go into a
Why
pile with
can't
somebody who's
both
not Jason
work?
Kelsey.
Why can't we do both? Because that is exactly what they did. They did both in week 1. You saw it.
And how many rushing touchdowns did Jalen Hurts get on the tush push this
They're
week?
gonna fucking figure it out. It's
Well,
game
Well, I
1
thought
with
he
the
did
Senators.
it.
This is way
Game
too much
1.
airtime. Moving on.
Yeah, we
Moving
can't
on.
do this when it's live because we can't cut any of it. That's stupid. I want to talk off pod about this.
We have other
We're
shit to
gonna have a
talk about,
fist
and we
fight
know
after the
exactly.
pod.
It's fucking dumb.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you on Sunday
I-
and throw you
I-
off the rafters.
I guarantee I get a text from Mac because sometimes he listens to this and goes, "What the fuck's wrong with John? What kind of take is that?" Guarantee I get a text about this one.
You guys are all biased and unreasonable people.
You're fucking biased and unreasonable.
That's also true, but you're worse. Tyler, continue.
Okay, let's go.
Please take it over. I'm gonna
Yeah,
mute
no,
Jake.
this is going to be a historic matchup. I think it'll be really close. It's going to come down to, I mean, this you could say about any team, but it's going to come down to the stars, and somebody's going to have a monsters game, and it's just going to be who is it? Because these teams are star-studded. You could take these 2 lineups and have the first 2 rounds of a fantasy draft of a redraft league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus
No, you're
Christ.
right. You're
Disgusting.
entirely right.
It's
Quite
insane.
literally, it is the first 2 rounds.
It's
essentially.
not okay. Yeah. So
It's
I'm
crazy.
excited. It's going to be awesome.
Even Justin Tucker would go in the single-digit round.
Fucking home leagues, Justin Tucker
Like-
goes in the 3rd round.
Let's be real. Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up every single week between these 2 teams. God, I still, I mean, I hate to do it, but I think I feel good about doing it now. But I give Tyler the edge, and I'll tell you exactly why. Justin Jefferson with Sam Darnold. I mean, yes, he got a touchdown, but they're playing San Francisco,
Sam Darnold looked good.
and Lamar Jackson is just better than Tua. I mean, he could put up 40 points. Tua's not going to do that, and he's playing the Raiders, which gave up a lot of points last week. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the difference for me personally. Yeah, that's what
I'm telling you right now, Lamar Jackson's not rushing for 122 yards against the Raiders.
saying.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
I'll rephrase that. I don't want to see Lamar Jackson have to go out and rush for 122 yards against the fucking Raiders.
He might
think
have
he
to
might.
because Max Crosby is going to annihilate his offensive line.
That is true.
That's true. Yeah.
So
It-
I
it's
think
gonna
we
be-
might see more of the
Justice Hill
same.
game incoming. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be a
find
Justice
out.
Hill game. All right,
Let's move on to let's start our dynasty matchup, and then we'll talk about next week for dynasty and move on to league of record. Okay. Week 1 dynasty. This was in no way intentional to talk about you losing first, but yet here we are. I beat Jake in the dynasty league. I am 5-1 against Jake in dynasty. The only loss coming in the playoffs when I benched Devonta Smith for Van Jefferson. And anyway, here we go. I beat Jake 141 to 126. Off week from Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor and Brandon Ayuk and Evan Ingram.
Justin Jefferson still had 60 yards and a touchdown. And they were beating the brakes off of a terrible team. So I'm not remotely concerned about Justin Jefferson.
I'm not saying you should, but you still lost to me based on his performance among others. So
no, I mean my real loss come on the back of Brandon Ayuk and Evan Ingram. That's who lost me this week.
Absolutely, because you had the RB1 and pretty solid performances from Mason and Tua and Waddle.
I started the 2 top 5 RBs. It really is. I mean, truly, it's Brandon Ayuk 2 for. I didn't see the whole game, but I heard he dropped 2 dime touchdowns in the corner of the end zone.
He looked super rusty. Even the commentary, like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, were like, "Yeah, that's what happens when you're a fucking bitch and you sit out camp trying to get your deal."
That is essentially what they said.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't say that verbatim, but yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. You get lucky sometimes, especially in this league where there's some real like stud teams. I would have beat, the majority of the rest of the league. Even Tyler, I would have beat. It's really only a handful of people that I couldn't have beat, and it is what it is. You
would have still lost to most of the quote unquote better teams in our league this week, but again, it was a low scoring overall week for fantasy football.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do?
Your team's still incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I have zero concerns about my team.
I do feel a little bit vindicated with still believing in Joe Mixon. I think that's my biggest takeaway from this week is
I'll give you that, honestly.
He has 30 carries.
30 carries.
Tyler could be a fantasy relevant running back with 30 carries.
I don't think Tyler is going to get 5.3 yards a carry, 159 yards.
You put him in the Texans offense, he might.
Put me out there with CJ Stroud. I can do anything.
I think that's a ridiculous way to just not give me this one, Jake.
I think you get Tyler in the huddle with CJ Stroud, they could cure cancer.
For the love of fucking God. I hate you so much. John, let's just try to repeat after me. John was white. What? Fuck.
John is white.
John is white. John's an idiot. John was right about this one thing. Can we just come on, please? No.
Yeah, I'm seriously, I'm with you, John. Like I'm still not really a Joe Mixon believer, but he's making one out of me.
God.
No, I'm saying he's making one out of me. Like I wasn't.
Okay.
But now I am.
Yeah, I've never been, but
good for you.
King. I've said
even though you've been trying to sell him straight for 2 years and trying to dump him at every. Yes, you have.
That's a complete fucking lie.
To me personally, you've been trying to trade Joe Mixon. Yes, you have.
Show me one offer I've sent you in the last year about Joe Mixon. 0 offers.
Okay.
That's not true, and that's a lie. So don't even try to say
listen,
that.
Dude. Maybe the season before. I'm telling you, Joe Mixon. You've been trying to. You're like, come on, he's really good. John is white. Thank you, Kevin. Very good.
I appreciate that. No, but all I'm trying to say is I'm vindicated because I'm right about volume backs. Workload is key. Okay, Najee Harris 20 carries, very efficient on the ground, 70 yards.
You're saying that like it's like some hot take where you're like, look, you just got to look. Fucking shit. If you get 25 carries, maybe
try to go after backs like this. I don't think you have Bijan, Joe Mixon, or Najee in any leagues, and you lost.
I'll give you
motherfucker. I have Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and
sitting on your bench. You got Christian McCaffrey sitting on your bench this week. Congrats,
Lord.
You have an injury-prone running back.
Jordan, he got 22 points.
Cool. That's great.
How many
didn't
fucking
do as good
points
as Joe
did
Mixon.
Najee Harris get?
Well, if he gets in the end zone, I think we'd be pretty happy about his week.
Oh, the figures in the end. Shut the fuck. No.
That's your argument.
If he scored like 18 touchdowns, I'd be pretty happy.
That's how you're going to try to win an argument is mock me? Okay, good job.
What do you mean? John, you're sitting here stroking yourself off for a guy who got 20 carries for, what is that, 8.9 points? Congratulations. You could have started Justice Hill and he would have been better off for you.
Okay, all I'm saying, Jake, is he gets a touchdown. You know what? Touchdowns don't happen every week.
Okay,
if he did with that kind of volume,
get out of here.
Great week. I'm looking at the future. It's week 1. I'm saying it only gets better from being the top scoring team on the week in the Dynasty League.
It only gets better from being the top scoring team. That is a quote that only John's hubris could bring to you people.
Jake, the shit
It's
you
only
have
up from
fucking
here.
said in
I'm
the
telling
past,
you,
your
it's going
hubris is through
downhill.
the fucking stratosphere.
Okay.
Let
At
me
least
fucking
I
We
have
have
haven't
one
even
one
talked
week.
about the keeper league yet. We haven't even talked about keeper league. Keep it rolling.
It's Jake versus John week.
I
I'm
got to be
sorry,
the
but this
fucking
is what- this
unbiased
is what
moderator.
happens, man.
This is a fantasy fight every week over these goddamn matchups.
All
I
right,
swear to God.
now
Killing
let's
you,
talk
Jake.
about a real hard fought win from a team of guys that really put it together.
What
to
we got to
beat
talk about
some
next
real
week
utter trash.
Yeah,
we
we're
gotta
going to talk
talk
about
about
John's
next
next week here.
and Jake's next week. Next week I play Troy. Really hard fought victory against Tyler last week with a win that he kind of just sneaked out. But yeah, after that, I don't know. I still have to have my guys go off this week in order to beat this pretty strong lineup. Lad McConkey against Carolina, that could be, I don't know, man. I don't know. He could put up 25 points. It's
Kinda
hard for me to believe that a
McConkey.
rookie named Lad McConkey is good. I don't know. I'm a big
Touchdown.
name
Most of
guy.
those points
Into-
are touchdowns.
He lulls you into a false sense of safety.
Does he?
Strikes.
He looks
Yeah,
like
listen.
Nick
Firm.
A30.
He does.
What? Who does he look like?
Nick A30, man. He looks
Don't
like
worry about it.
every Gen Z TikToker. I just
Never
don't.
back
I
down.
don't know,
Never
man.
what?
Brother, you are too old to be making
Never
TikTok
give up.
references like that.
You don't know how old I am.
I know you're older than me,
Damn it.
and I'm too old to do that. Because
Man, you make TikToks for a living. I can make TikToks for
yeah, not
if
that.
I want.
You're watching like teens dance.
That's oh my god. That do not put that in the ether because that's not true. That's just what the algorithm thinks I want. Okay.
Yeah, yep. And how do you build an algorithm?
Targeted ads that go into the deep dark history of my computer. Anyways, Jake. So I
You're
think I have a
telling on
pretty good
yourself.
chance.
You're telling on yourself.
We're making jokes, man. Don't worry about
No,
it.
you're not.
okay?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
If anything, I'm just a little bit worried about Jake Moody because he had the best kicker performance I've seen in years in fantasy football.
Yeah, really
Um,
carried your ass to a victory that you didn't deserve.
I think Singletary could go off this week against Washington. A little bit worried about that. Yeah, I still have arguably one of the best lineups in the league. So I think, if all things go well, Jalen Hurts against Atlanta, I think he gets 2 rushing touchdowns in that game, and I come away with a win here. So looking forward to going 2-0 in the Dynasty League. Jake, how you looking against Tyler? Where did I talk about this? Let's go to League of Record.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Okay. League of Record. Let's get it out of the way. Tyler's matchup.
My matchup. All right. Yeah. You guys are going to talk forever about yours. Fucking yap fest. So
Try not to, but Jake won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because you just come out and you're like, dude, you're the best team. I've been telling you guys it's all about volume. No fucking shit.
yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I played Chris this week. Chris H. And yeah, man, this was a tough loss. I lost 115 and 135. Chris had Saquon Barkley. Just really set the tone for the matchup. Mike Evans blew me up as well, my boy. I had the Saints defense, which I picked up off waivers. I was really happy about that. They were destroying Carolina. Like, it was not fair. It was a gross game. What it really came down to was Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes just let me down tremendously. Season opener against the Ravens. Between the two of them, didn't even equal fucking Kenneth Walker, basically, on Chris's team. And this guy might be a candidate. He might be my dud of the week. We'll get there. But Drake London, my keeper in the 4th round, somebody who I thought was going to get a tremendous amount of volume in this Atlanta offense. From Kirk Cousins, got 3 targets, 2 receptions, was on the field for every single snap. Kirk Cousins was getting decimated by TJ Watt. So I don't want to look too far into this one. Because it was just a nightmare for him to try and get that ball out. But at the end of the day, like, I need Drake London. He is basically my bona fide wide receiver 1. I don't have anybody outside of him. It's Drake London, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens for me moving forward, which is terrifying. In a league with like extremely elite wide receivers playing against Mike Evans on Chris's team. So, yeah, I really hope that moving forward, Atlanta can kind of get it together and Drake London establishes himself a little bit more, because if he doesn't, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to have to rely on Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce moving forward, and Xavier Worthy. I mean, that's a guy who had a breakout game. I thought was going to help me to victory this week, but it clearly didn't turn out that way. So I'm also happy with the James Conner pickup. I think he was a great value in the 5th round. That's another guy I think could be top 10, fringe, extremely fringe, top 5, maybe not even. Just based on the amount of volume he's going to get, and the Cardinals kind of figuring out their pass game situation still. So James Conner's been that guy for me for a couple seasons. That again, just trying to moneyball this team together here. But Chris with the well-deserved victory.
The keeper, you moneyball in the keeper league.
I kind of had to. Draft position in the middle of the road. I think I was picking 108, 107, 108. It's just
That's
a
a tough spot to
horrible
be.
draft position, especially in a keeper league, for God's sakes. Like through the first round, like at the actual 108, I don't even remember who I took because there's just nobody. It's like a wasteland.
It had to be ETN.
I think it was ETN, but it was like ETN or Marvin Harrison Jr. It was like, what the hell am I doing here? So
Saquon was gone at that point, right? Because he went.
I don't
earlier.
know that he was.
He went 110. You could have taken Saquon Barkley.
I could have
my
taken
man.
Saquon. Again, that's not somebody that I was like
In
slam dunk.
hindsight.
In hindsight, sure. But ETN, I think as the season goes on, he's proven that he is a dangerous running back and is going to get a ton of volume. So
Yeah.
I hope it shakes out okay.
ETN was, one fumble away from having at least, like 18 points. So,
Yeah.
would have been a lesser of a loss, but that was the difference was you taking ETN over Saquon Barkley in the draft. That would have given you the win. So,
Yep.
just, got to pick your guys, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
Got to go for it.
Got to do it. Next week, though, Tyler, in the League of Record, we are playing each other, as a matter of fact.
I'm playing Jake and Dynasty and you in League of Record. Gross.
And we're all going to see each other next week. So what better day?
Hey,
to,
yeah, it's
get together
perfect,
and watch
actually.
the Patriots
We'll
opener.
get together and punch each other in the fucking mouth.
We're going to kill each other in fantasy and in real life. I'm going to bring a gun to a knife fight. Anyway,
Oh.
I didn't even get to talk about my League of Record win.
you will.
You will. We're getting there.
This segment's a little
This
bit
is
like
my
fucked up.
future.
Like I'm trying
Yeah,
to figure
this
out how
is
to
not
talk
how
about
it's
2
supposed to
weeks.
go.
Is not it's not great. Do you want to talk about yours first? Why don't we do that, Jake?
No, let's
Go ahead.
I want to talk about me winning more.
Let's Tyler talk. Let's Tyler talk
Go
about
ahead,
his
Jake.
thing.
Talk about your win over me.
I picked Caleb Williams. He's bad. Ugh.
Yeah, he is bad. He is not good.
That's
No, he's
I don't
good.
know.
He's good. He'll be fine. Not remotely worried about him long term. Half the reason I picked him was just so that I could have him, because I think he's gonna blow
What do you
up.
want to do to him? What the fuck, Jake?
Yeah, what the hell?
Moving
Yeah,
on
why'd
past
you
that.
say it like that? What the fuck?
My win was really off the back of Cooper Kupp. And Jerome Ford had a great game with almost 19 points. But it's really Cooper Kupp with 32 points. That really sealed the deal. Not a super high scoring week for me. Only got 120 points to John's 116.
I didn't know it did that.
But luckily, John's best players were Richardson, Kamara, and Brandon Aubrey.
And
the
my
kicker,
defense.
So
Yeah,
your
11
defense is
points,
all right.
Get me in
11
it.
points. Garrett Wilson easily could have won this for you and did not.
Oh, I
Yeah.
really thought Geno Smith was going to do it for me at the very end. He had some garbage time. I doubt you were watching it. Were you watching like the very last
No,
drive?
definitely not.
So fucking Geno Smith, garbage time. Garrett Wilson and Lazard, everyone's still out there. Breece Hall and Rodgers are sitting on the bench. Garbage time, rolling down the field. He does throw a pass to Garrett Wilson, catches it. They call it back because he was ineligible because he stepped out of bounds and came back in to catch it. So that would have been like 15 points. And then he throws a touchdown to Alan Lazard when I was like, dude, just throw it to Garrett Wilson. I would have won by like 5 points. So
You said you said Geno Smith. Isn't it it's who's the backup in Green Bay?
oh, my bad.
Isn't that Tyrod Taylor or something?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
I was gonna
okay.
say,
I was a
Geno
little
Smith is
confused. I was like, wait a
I'm
second.
thinking of
I was
another
literally
former-
looking at
former Jet,
Geno Smith. I was
my
like,
bad.
Geno Smith is not.
I was like, they played the
former
49ers.
Jets quarterback.
I got
Sorry,
you.
Jesus.
I saw a thing about
Um,
the former Jets first round picks like popping off this week, like Sam Darnold and shit. I was like, yikes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway,
But yeah, no, Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson almost saved it for me. But the biggest L here was the Lions. They got really they had like 5 3-and-outs against that Rams defense. They just couldn't get anything going. They still won the game, crazy enough. But the Rams were just decimated with some injuries to their starters. But
Yeah.
Laporta, Amon-Ra, they really couldn't get them going the way that they typically would on a week-to-week basis. Worries me a little bit. Like Anthony Richardson saved my chances this week. He completed 9 passes and still got 27 fantasy points.
He looked
Yeah.
unbelievable. Anthony Richardson is the real deal. I am so jealous because I tried so hard to get him in this league and wanted to, and then Pat Mahomes fell too far. I'm like, okay, I have to. But
That's
Anthony
tough.
Richardson is the real deal, man. Like, I'm so high on him. Like, he is a freak. He looks great. When he just
played 5
uncorked
games.
that one, like he drops back, he's about to get sacked. He just uncorks like a 65-yarder to Alec
It was
Pierce
crazy. And
for
it
a
was right
touchdown,
on
dude. Is
target.
Absolute fucking
unbelievable.
cannon on this man.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. It was just sick. It was awesome. He's going to be so much fun to watch.
I feel good about Kamara too. I mean, I expected him to be good as well. 22 points, very solid. But yeah, I mean, I need more out of Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta because those are my guys. And Marvin Harrison, geez, just brutal game one for him.
Ugh.
So if
Greg
if he had
Dortch.
even
Greg
gotten a
Dortch,
few
wide receiver
catches-
1.
yeah.
I'll trade
No,
him to you.
Yeah, that's
I'm
brutal.
gonna pass on that one.
I already sent an offer to John. There's some shit. about it.
Really, really bad offer. He offered me TJ Hawkinson and Rashid Shaheed for Marvin Harrison Jr.
What the
Um,
fucking
better wide
shit.
receiver.
I,
than Marvin
I really
Harrison
don't want to even give that any fucking airtime. That it pissed me off.
You
when he
already
sent that.
did.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Gross, man.
absolutely ridiculous. But
That's-
this
Maybe
is
it'd be better,
this
and
is
I
the
wouldn't have
type
to
of
try to
villain.
trade for your players.
Fuck you. This is the type of villain. Yeah, let me go ahead to on the field and tell Kyler Murray to throw it to Marvin Harrison more. I'll go ahead and do that.
You got that kind of pull?
I mean,
He could. We know
Alright.
Brittany Mahomes. We know who
I
she
have my
is.
methods. Yeah, Brittany Mahomes can get me down there.
Okay. All right. Well, next week I'm playing Chris. Chris called his shots on some players, and it paid off for him this week. So I don't know if it'll continue next week, but it could. I mean, very well. He's got a decent starting lineup. I don't understand some of his bench moves, like rostering, but Bucky Irving. I mean, Jesus, even Bucky Irving.
Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, he's a rookie on the Tampa
He's
Bay
It is a
Bucks.
keeper league. It is a keeper league. I don't want to
Dylan
hate
Murray.
too much because I got some fucking out there bench spots too. But
Yeah.
Okay.
But Saquon Barkley, I mean, look, it's really tough when you're in multiple leagues and you're playing against a stud player on your other teams that matter.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the worst thing about being in so many leagues. It's terrible.
Yeah. So, really, I mean, for me, I'm less worried now that I know it's just the Cooper Cup show. For the Rams. So, but this is still very much anybody's game. He's got Kyler Murray, who's been scrambling, and he's got good guys. If Kenneth Walker ends up not playing, that could be really great for me. Because the other options are significantly lower ceiling than Kenneth Walker could be. So, Yeah, not too worried about it.
That's a pretty good slot in there. But yeah,
yeah, that's true. But then, I mean, he then has
Yeah,
to
but
put in
then
another.
yeah, he's got.
but then
Josh
you got to
Palmer,
start Josh
so-
Palmer. Yeah, pretty much.
It's pretty much Josh Palmer, unless he wants to take a shot on Michael Wilson or
I
Taysom
will
Hill
say this:
could-
this man's willing to trade players. If you have a,
big time.
he was willing to trade Mike Evans to me for Garrett Wilson.
God damn, how do you have CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Cup, man? That's so upsetting.
Yeah, but I was not as high on Cooper Cup after. I mean, he didn't.
It's hard. It's Cooper Cup, man. I know I'm saying, oh, we gotta wait and see. It's still Cooper Cup. His ADP was criminal this year, I think, because of Puka Nacua.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, you got to buy. I mean, sometimes you got to buy the dip on a player, and I was like, the upside is literally league winning, and here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
the upside and the downside, even still, was like, okay, he still has Matthew Stafford's trust and is like a good flex option.
True.
And I already had
Third round
CD.
Yeah.
So I did already get in Gabby's ear and said, hey, what do you want for Puka? What do you give me for Cup? But not
Go ahead and do that and lose a few matchups
Yeah,
if you want to
well-
get rid of Cup when he's going to have his highest ceiling of the year. You
Well, I
should
would
trade
have
him.
asked for a haul. So
Yeah,
True.
it's probably
Surely it
not.
would
Well,
have
she
either.
needs more than Cooper Cup right now. She needs a tight end. Maybe you send her nobody because you don't have another tight end. But yeah, cool. Tyler, the big matchup of the week here. Two juggernauts, two 0-1 teams going against each other. Mahomes versus Richardson, Kamara versus Etienne, Najee versus James Conner, Amon-Ra against Tampa Bay, going against Drake London here. Wilson versus Worthy, Laporta versus Kelsey, big matchup there. Marvin Harrison versus Pickens, and Aubrey versus Sanders. So
I want to fucking puke looking at my team. Like
it's
after
not
week one,
bad. What do
dude.
you mean?
It's not good either.
Yeah, Tyler,
there's
I'm not
so
feeling
many-
love on this team.
I had my draft and I was like, man, this is.
I remember during our mock draft, you were like, God, this sucks too. Like,
I did so many. I'm like, maybe if I mock draft more, it'll make my team better. And it just never. There was no situation where I could get out of it.
gotta
Being
make
towards
moves.
the back of the first round, I'm gonna have to make some moves here and improve. It's just gross.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would love to knock you to 0-2. Just purely because I don't want to be 0-2. I'd love to be 1-1 because I really do. I feel pretty darn confident with this team. I need Marvin Harrison to bounce back. I don't know if he will against the Rams. I'm a little worried about that matchup. But I do expect better games from Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, and Laporta. So,
Which you should. I would too.
yeah, I hope to God, man. And you know, Jalen Hurts had an okay game against Green Bay. I think Richardson could probably pound it in more than Jalen Hurts can. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe we'll
I
see.
think
He's a
I
battering
think
ram.
year
so-
over year, Anthony Richardson is gonna overtake and be better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
He's
we
that
argued
good.
but the argument about Jalen Hurts was the tush push argument. I was watching him, and the man does the same thing every single time a pocket breaks. He runs to the right. He runs to the right and he throws it away.
Yeah.
Or he throws it into traffic. I'm like, and he will never run to the left. So as a defensive coordinator, you know exactly what he's going to do when you put pressure on him.
Yep.
So he's a little bit one-dimensional. I mean, but he's got some fucking weapons, and that's what makes him so good for fantasy. In addition to just he can he can squat 600 pounds. So yeah, I don't know. I guess Anthony Richardson is also more of an exciting quarterback to watch as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah. I think you could still win though. I mean, you have guys that are able to put up big weeks. So
If
we'll
if
see.
you've got Najee Harris on your team, I can win any given week. Let me tell you that.
Playing the Denver Broncos, I think Najee has the game of his fucking life, Tyler. I don't know.
If you're
man.
rostering and starting
No, brother.
Najee Harris, John, I could always beat you.
I think he rushes 20 times for about 80 yards and gets 9 points.
I'll water bet he gets more than 9 points this week.
I'm not
Oh,
taking that
shit.
line because I don't give a fuck about. I refuse to get water in my face over fucking Najee Harris.
Come on, we always do a water bet on Najee Harris. Come on.
Yeah, sure. I'll water bet you that Najee is going to be exactly who we think he is, and you're going to argue the entire season that he's not.
I'm telling you, I'll say he gets.
Will you water
I'll
bet a
say he gets-
touchdown? I'll water bet a touchdown. He's not getting a touchdown against Denver.
I'll water
Oh,
bet a
man.
touchdown. Sure.
I'll water bet that all day.
I think he gets in the end zone. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, wait.
Add it to the list.
Dudes water bet.
Like ice bucket for Najee.
Why does that? This isn't a big one. Just regular.
I'm
Why
kind
does
of feeling
have
it.
to be an ice
I
bucket.
thought he
just
was the
because you guys
guy.
are mean.
I thought he was your
No.
guy, John. If you're so
he
confident,
was
you
the
can pour
guy.
a big bucket of ice water on me.
No, I'm like I'm pretty 50-50 on whether he gets in the fucking end zone. This is football. Like I'm just like.
All right, we'll keep a water bet. That's fine.
Add it to the list for the love of God. I think we got a question from Logan. Tush push is over. You biased.
Ooh.
Cute little guy.
Yeah, that's right. He's a doctor, so
I feel like that means
you
he
smarter
has
than him.
less credibility here. He's a doc, doesn't mean he knows, when Jalen Hurts is gonna, push his little tush in there. And also, I would argue,
Wow,
the
that's
tush
the
push
worst thing you said all
could
night.
be
Move
better
on.
with Saquon Barkley because of how much he can squat.
No,
You see him pushing Jalen Hurts?
they don't use a running
If-
back to
Yes,
push.
they do.
No, they
push.
don't. It's like
Straight at
Dallas
Look at the
Goddard and
fucking
AJ
film.
Brown or something.
No,
It's like
look
not.
at the film. Saquon Barkley was literally pushing his ass. Look at the
Okay.
film.
Yeah, that's
Come
why
back
it's not
and talk to
working.
me.
All
Oh
right.
my god.
Mhm.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the matchups. But yeah, let's talk about something that is really upsetting for me.
Yeah.
Everything.
Isn't that every time we do any podcast? I'm just
Anything
upset.
other than Fortnite?
Yes.
Survival football.
This is upsetting.
We're
I really
just
thought.
skipping dudes and duds, huh?
Oh,
Just skipping them right over them. See you later. We can
Wait.
do it after this. That's okay.
okay. We'll do this first because this is upsetting.
I think we can quick run through those dudes and duds, dude. That's pretty. We already talked our entire matchups. Let's just get those done.
Wait, what? Right now?
Yeah,
I already did the
talked
drop.
All right, whatever, Survivor.
This is a
in the
professionally
book.
produced
So Jeff
podcast.
Probst.
Week 1 in the
Yeah.
books. It would help if we had somebody, doing drops for us. But here I am, hosting and talking and doing everything. So, anyways,
We love
this
you.
is the podcast. Me and Jake both picked the Bengals, and
We're
they
both done.
fucking
You
we're
fool.
out.
You absolute fools.
I'm an idiot. I feel ashamed to be a Patriots fan picking against my team, and you know what? That's karma. Fuck me. Fuck me.
Yeah, I wish I'd let you pick first and not pick them.
But I always pick last because I'm the Grim Reaper. So, and I didn't want to change my pick. I was trying to stick to my guns, and it failed me again.
Honestly, here's the thing, like if I look back, I don't know who I would have picked week 1 anyway. Other than that, like I honestly,
New Orleans. I thought that was a pretty chalk pick.
yeah, I mean New Orleans.
Maybe.
would've
I mean, it's
probably
easy
been-
to say that now, but the Panthers were just so bad. They were so
I
bad.
really
last
thought
year.
that there was a chance that, they bounce back. They have Deontay Johnson. Like, I really didn't think Derek Carr was him,
I mean,
I guess.
like a little hindsight bias, but the other one I did look at last time we looked was Washington. That was the other call I had.
Well, then
made.
Tyler said the Bucks, so you
Yeah.
were like, well, yeah. Anyways, me and Jake are out. We are in an actual Survivor league that had a $20 buy-in. We are officially eliminated, so we lose our money.
See ya,
Yeah.
along with like
addition to
4
three-
other people.
Yeah,
The way things are going, somebody's getting a payout like next
week 4.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, they're gonna get all the money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there
mean, there's,
could be-
there's 8 people left.
Yeah, and I think I said winner take all, so they're gonna be
You
doing
did.
okay. Might be the
I'll take your
easiest money
money.
they've ever made in their lives.
Everyone
Yeah,
was getting
it's about to be.
hot. Everyone that was there this weekend was getting hot when we started talking about double
You
elimination and like
fuckers.
changing our votes.
Like halfly through the
So
game, you're like,
funny.
oh, yeah, it's
Listen,
double
listen.
elimination, right, guys? Isn't it double
So
elimination? Did we
funny.
all decide on that? Was
I
like, you
changed my vote to
fuckers.
instigate.
Oh,
I
my
really think
God.
we should do double elimination for fun. I mean, come
No.
on, it's week 1. It's week
Pick-
1. That's not
Pick
fun.
some teams. Yeah, that sucks. Pick a better.
That's how
Pick better.
that's how gambling works. John's gonna go to the casino and be like, I think I should get a free spin.
I also
Mm,
lost
I
$50
lost first.
because I did DraftKings, and most of the reason was because the Patriots won. So, fuck me. It's karma layered on top of karma. I deserve it. Let's just move
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Week 2, we're still doing it for the show, but just know that we are eliminated in our actual league, and because this is a segment, I don't really want to just get rid of the segment because we suck. So week 2, here we go. Jake, hold on, I guess I could try to pull up the.
I gotta pull up the matchups.
Yeah, hold up a second. NFL matchups week 2.
I'm picking the Ravens over the Raiders.
Jake going with the Ravens. Okay, well, I gotta pull up. Do.
Oh, we got Bengals
Jacob.
this week. That's gonna be great.
Jake's going with the Ravens this week. Oh wait, over who? The Raiders, you said? Nice. Tyler, who do you got, man? Who you got this week? We got some good matchups. We got 49ers, Vikings.
I need some more information, moving forward. All of these matchups, with the exception of maybe like, I don't know, like 2. I'm looking at either the Eagles or the 49ers here. I think just to save my skin, and because I'm one of the very few teams remaining in survival football actually in that money league, I'm taking the 49ers over the Vikings.
It might be smart because we might lose 3 more people this week, and then the odds are even more in your favor of potentially winning.
Right. So I realize I can't repick them, but I think in this instance, this is a good week to use one of those high caliber teams because we just need to see more football, more information.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that statement. Geez, well, God, it really sucks to be out already. The name is very fitting, I will say. I think Chili's trapped in. I think she trapped herself in the room right now because I've been hearing her cry the whole time, and I did not close her in. I think she closed herself in the bedroom.
That poor cat.
But she's gonna have to wait because we are live. Anyway, geez. I'm gonna go with the Colts this week. They're playing the Packers in Green Bay, I believe, but they have Malik Willis, who his career touchdowns is 0 and 3 interceptions. He sucks.
That's pretty good. There you go. That's not a bad pick at all, my friend.
Maybe I'll reap the Colts, but I'm going with the Colts, man.
I like it.
I would have felt really confident about this if I had won last week, and then I was like, dude, Colts, lock it in. Easy. I'm moving on. That would have been nice. But
John really cementing a come to earth game for Anthony Richardson.
Most likely.
Anthony Richardson's going to blow out his legs and never play football again,
no,
probably.
Anthony Richardson throws his hand off of his arm.
Like, I didn't think your arm was an actual cannon.
Fucking explodes.
Oh, man.
No, it was an actual projectile that could dislodge from your body.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for survival football, but let's move on to dudes and duds of the week.
Dudes and duds of the week.
Yeah. Dudes and duds of the week. Jake, why do you start us off? Because I didn't make a banner yet. I'm going to make it right now.
Yeah, easily. Cooper Kupp is my dude. 32 points. That's crazy. And he got 21 targets for 14 receptions. Only got 1 touchdown. He scored 32 points. Can you imagine if he had a little bit more luck on the touchdowns? Would have been.
I can't even
crazy
tell you,
game.
Jake, the soul that left my body when he caught that ball and skirted and dove into the end zone. I was like, there's a chance, Cooper Kupp, there's no way he's gonna keep producing, and yet there he goes in for 6 points, and then
turns out really good at football, and so is Matthew Stafford, and he loves to have a guy, and Cooper Kupp's his guy. And then my dud is Evan Ingram. Really disappointed about this one. I do heavily believe in him, and I think that this is a fluke game. He ran a lot of routes. He's been efficient previously, and I think it just happened to be that this didn't work out. And Miami, the scheme just isn't ideal to use tight ends against, and so they didn't because they wanted to win. And they didn't. But I just would have hoped for a little bit more. I don't know. I was a little disappointed, but he's one of the better options, and I still really believe in him. But yep, Cooper Kupp and Evan Ingram.
Fair enough. What about you, T-Dog? What do you got for us this week?
So my dude of the week gave me a fighting chance to win my Liga record matchup, although that didn't end up happening. And somebody that I kind of took a shot on in Xavier Worthy. I think he really showed up, surprised everybody with his 2 touchdowns. Again, not a sticky stat. I don't know that we'll see that moving forward, but wide receiver 11 on the week. I mean, his ADP was 7th, 8th round. So pretty solid showing. And I think he could be pretty exciting. Like I talked about, maybe not exactly replacing Tyreek Hill, but kind of moving into that speedster, gadgety type role on that Andy Reid offense, I think could be pretty exciting. So shout out Xavier Worthy. Same team. Huge dud. Drake London. Just I know it's not necessarily his fault. Kirk Cousins, again, was just getting demolished by TJ Watt, actually demolished.
He didn't even have it. He looked so stiff, it's crazy.
He looked so really uncomfortable and so unnatural and just not ready yet. So I get it.
But got that Aaron Rodgers medical treatment down in Mexico in the woods somewhere. That would have
and Drake London was a value in the 4th round. So what does that tell you about having a 3-point game to start the season, right? So just all over the place. I'm not I'm not giving up, but man, it's not looking good so far. So hopefully he turns it around.
Dude of the week is gonna have to be Joe Mixon. Love that volume. Love that efficiency on the ground. 5.3 a carry. I think it continues. Dameon Pierce is really dead in the fantasy football world. For all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
How the man has fallen. I mean, just the Texans have risen and Dameon Pierce has fallen. Joe Mixon he looks good. He looks as good as he's ever been. Did I watch any of the actual plays? Nope, but I'm looking at a stat line because I was at the game. From what I've heard, it sounded like he was very good and he was great for fantasy this week. So he's my dude, and the dud is really unfortunate, but it's gonna have to be. You know what, man? I would give it to Marvin Harrison, but first NFL game, I think I'm gonna have to go Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't expect 4 points from a man that should go in the first 4 or 5 picks in a redraft league. It's like you got to be fucking better than that, man.
Unfortunately, yes.
It's really bad. 3 for 6. Yes, like that Rams defense was pretty good. The Lions, like I said before, they just could not keep drives going. And Amon-Ra is usually the guy to make that happen. So, yeah, not good. I hope he doesn't continue that type of output. I don't think he will, though.
And real quick, this is not a dude or a dud, but I think it'd be exciting to throw on the pod for all of our listeners. Who do you guys got next week going like absolutely crazy? What's a matchup you're looking at? You're like, this dude's going to rock it next week.
Ooh. I mean, I did just make a water bet on Najee Harris, but someone answer that with that question.
I mean, it feels a little chalky, but Justin Herbert, man, he's playing Carolina. He had to shake the rust off game against Las Vegas, and I think he could be a top 5 QB.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What do you got, John?
I'll go. Man, give me Devonta Smith. Why not? I think he has a great game. Minnesota or against Atlanta Monday night. It can't always be an AJ Brown game. Maybe it's a Devonta Smith game. Maybe he gets in the end zone twice. I'll go with that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I got Josh Jacobs against Indy. No Jordan Love, more volume. He's been pretty efficient for Green Bay so far. Hopefully he eats 5 yards a carry last week. So maybe he gets some more receiving work, dump offs, but I expect Josh Jacobs to have a pretty good game. So
Kevin says Cameron Dicker against Carolina. I think he understood the assignment.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
I like it.
Dicker the kicker about to outkick Jake Moody from last week. Let's go.
Big time.
You never know. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, let's get into Dr. Logan did ask us one start sit, so I will go ahead and play Dr. Logan.
And now, Dr. Logan chimes in.
He's actually moving to Arizona. He is a traveling doctor, as we know. He's lived in Montana, California, Washington.
Oh, this is such an easy question.
Now he's moving to Arizona, so he went ahead and sent this in. But Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow this week?
It's Jaden Daniels. Not even a question. Joe Burrow looked like absolute dog shit. The dude couldn't even pick up a water bottle on the sidelines.
What? Is that true? Did he drop one?
Yes. Look up the video. He picks it up and he needs to use his other hand in order to like put it in his hand to use it. It's bad. And
he's got nagging wrist injury, something going on there.
This feels crazy that I'm surprised Logan isn't chiming in on Joe Burrow. Like it's Jaden Daniels. It's Jaden Daniels every which way. Like it's not even a question. Jaden Daniels looks so good and the rushing upside is there. I didn't remotely believe in Jaden Daniels. I was like, Washington quarterback is a rookie, but he's a good start, and he's a
Heisman Trophy winner, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm
with you. Unbelievable. Still,
it's hard to find when I type in Joe Burrow water bottle.
I'll find you the video.
I couldn't. It was just Etsy things of Joe Burrow on a water bottle.
Just Googled Joe Burrow water bottle drop. What are you, 85?
Usually the algorithm has been improved in the last couple of years. I mean,
yeah, they're not running a Vanity Fair article about him dropping a water bottle. It's a video I saw on a tweet.
All right, well, maybe if you're gonna reference something, at least give me an actual.
I didn't
clip
know I
of
was
play.
gonna have
Shake
to
with
answer
the
this.
I don't know. I would go Jaden
Tremendous.
Daniels as well. I'd go Jaden Daniels before I see Joe Burrow. I need to see it first from Joe Burrow. But Jaden Daniels,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's
Bengals
rushing 2
are-
touchdowns every game, fucking put him in.
Bengals are down bad. Getting beat by the Patriots, #1, but yeah, Jamar Chase looking weird. Joe Burrow not looking healthy.
Maybe
T.
get rid of
Higgins
that,
injured.
Vanilla Ice haircut. Maybe that was
Yeah,
bad
that's
luck.
not doing him any favors at all.
Yeah, it didn't help you. It might have looked good on paper, but hasn't done any favors for you.
No.
All right,
Anyway,
Logan, you should chime in on Joe Burrow's injury, please.
what did he say? He said, "Y'all gave me shit."
About
Man,
Jaden Daniels? Yeah. I just said I was out on Jaden Daniels.
No, that's true. That's true. We did. Is a rookie. I don't know.
Rookie quarterback on Washington. I stand by not believing in him. I was willing to be wrong on that one.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the road, Logan. We look forward to a more in-depth segment of you chiming in next week. Thank you. And I believe that's going to do it for the show. At those fantasy dudes on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you look us up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hit that follow button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Hit that plus notification bell. That way you never miss an episode. And we will see you guys next Tuesday for yet another live show. Give us comments on Instagram stories. It's gonna be a great.
Hit us up on
time.
X on Sunday for start sit questions. Any other questions?
Yeah. Oh, Logan's at a hotel. What hotel? You got like a Best Western or?
Well, Logan, go ahead and do a little research. I'm very curious on like what the prognosis and outlook on that could be because it looked bad. I've seen a couple videos where he's like rolling his hand around and like it does not look like he's doing all right. And think about the time he's missed.
I guess there's a debate tonight as well.
Yeah.
There's a debate.
Yeah, you should be watching those
Yeah.
Fantasy News
Debate
podcast
of
over a
Saquon
presidential
Barkley and
debate.
Way
Jalen
more
Hurts.
important. Yeah.
We've been debating all night.
That's all we do.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening or watching. And you can go ahead and rewatch this if you are listening live on YouTube. Go right ahead. If you want to, if you really want to put yourself through that awful torture. But see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Those Fantasy Dudes podcast. Make sure to tune in next week and follow us at
Brother
Those
Tommy, you're
Fantasy
lucky.
Dudes on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, one more
See
time.
ya. Bye.
Torn ligaments and wrist. Yikes. I don't know if he's going to have an MRI yet. Thanks, Logan. See you guys
Thanks,
next
Logan.
week.
Bye.